if you feel people don't respect you, then ask yourself this one question. Do you respect yourself? Because if you don't respect yourself, how can you ever ask anyone to respect you? So if you spend all your days moping around, telling yourself you're no good at anything, then how can anyone else respect you? It's not them, it's you. And if this made you react, then it's probably the video for you. So there's always a really good story about this. Well, first story, one of my old flatmates, his really nice friend, she'd spent a few days sort of moping about some reason, about a reason or another, and she was telling herself and getting upset and crying that she was no good and whatever, all the normal things we do as humans, and we beat ourselves up. And she came into my room one day and was just saying all these stuff about herself and how bad she was and whatever. And instead of doing the normal thing which we do as nice humans, is console them and make them feel better, because that hadn't changed anything, or make them feel better, but that hadn't changed anything. I just said, "You're right. You are a terrible person, and you're never going to be good at this." And as soon as I said that, she suddenly went straight from sad to angry within half a millisecond. And she was like, "How dare you say that about me? I'm really good at this, and I'm a good person, and I'm not going to take that from you." And I just sat there with it, smiling, and said, "That's exactly why I said it." But this was the reason. I actually got this from a story from, I think it was Paul McKenna, who's a person who talks a lot about the mind and reprogramming your subconscious mind. He says that when he gets people coming to him to talk about their inconfidence, they're very confident about how inconfident they are. So they'll come in and say, "Oh, I'm just not a confident person, I'm terrible, I can never do this, I just always ends up doing this, and it's just the way my whole life is." And then he'll say to them, "Yeah, I can see you're right about that," and just lists off the things that they're terrible at. And then they get angry to him and stand up to him. So the reason I'm telling this story is because that most of the time the respect isn't from others that we're looking for. It's from ourselves internally, and we're not doing it. And respect isn't this macho sort of thing that we hear nowadays. Respect. Actually, I would say that the macho respect that a lot of people talk about is when you don't have respect for yourself. So you run around forcing others to try and give you respect. And the point is, when you change it around to actually having respect for yourself, you suddenly don't need any of the respect from others that you thought you wanted in the first place. It's meaningless. Because now, whether they respect you or not is on them. It's not you, because you respect yourself and you're fine with that. You're happy. This is the point at which you actually start getting way more respect from others. You won't get it from everyone, because there's no one in the world who can do that. But you start commanding respect much more than when you were running around trying to prove and fight for it. So a really simple way to see this and make the change is whenever, say you have an event or something starts making you feel bad about yourself. Say, I'm going to give an example. Say in my life, if I lost a tennis match before, if I moped around after the tennis match and I was just telling myself I was really bad at tennis and I should never carry on and I'll never make it and I'll whatever, all of these things, switch it around in your head and think, okay, like we did before, what if that was someone else saying that to you? Would you stand for it? And I mean, most people would say no. You wouldn't stand for someone else saying that to you. So don't stand for it when it's in your own head. So then, at that stage, you could switch around and start having the positive voices talking about, right, what were the good things that you did? What are the things that you did follow up on? And what are the things that you learned? And the point is about this, if you can't stand up to the internal monologue you have yourself, how can you stand up to anyone else outside you? So it's a completely infinite, unfulfilling game if you don't have respect yourself. So really simply what internal respect feels and looks like is when you have your biggest supporter inside you. So when you're your biggest supporter of yourself, everything else falls into place. You don't need to clamour and run around getting respect from others. And therefore, because you respect yourself, you actually get more respect from others too. The next time you feel people don't respect you, ask yourself whether you respect yourself. And if you don't, how can you ever ask anyone else to respect you when you don't even respect yourself?